Good morning. Welcome to Acceleration with Matt. Here live at the People's Congregation of Movers and Shakers. And good morning after the holiday weekend, if you were celebrating. So, a little different today. Nice and quiet in here. But today's topic, what I was bringing up for the end of the year to get started on the new year is like claiming our energy back. And what does that mean, like claiming our energy back? And that's kind of like what we're doing with the breath work. It's why a lot of times I start off in the beginning with, the nose breath and scanning the body. When we think of how we live, like our daily lives, or even how maybe, like for myself, like coming up on Christmas for me was a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, stress. And so what I would do, most of my journey was to go, like most of us go back into the past, and I would bring those emotions into my present and then shift them into the future, leading up to Christmas, so that I was already planning out how I was going to be emotionally, how I was going to be responding to family, maybe how I was going to shut down or whatever. So it was allowing for the past to really control and kind of be the steering wheel into the future events. And so what that is basically it's the energy from the past holidays, and I'm taking that energy and keeping it alive and moving it into a future event. We do this every day as well, with people who trigger us. Maybe we're we are anticipating how we're going to behave or speak or act, or our emotions arise. Maybe we get upset inside or angry, or there's just so many different emotions that can come up in regards to being around people that we work with, or family members, or certain friends. And again, many of the times, like say for a trigger, if an individual triggers you, we go into the past again about who that person is, what they've done to us, or maybe how they've treated us. And then we're bringing it into the present thought, and then we're shifting it into the meeting I'm going to have with this person in 10 minutes or tomorrow or later on in the afternoon. So I'm already kind of pre-designing how I'm going to act, feel, how my emotions are going to be, maybe my attitude. And this is also, to me, it's also no different than, say, like, addiction, because it's all still a chemical response within the body. And we crave that chemical response. It doesn't have to be from a drug. It doesn't have to be from alcohol, or tobacco, or gambling, or any, our bodies are chemically wired, and we seek out that sensation, that feeling, even if it's bringing us discomfort, because it's what we're used to. So with breathing, meditation, breath work, really we're trying to shift and change that. So with all that being said, why don't we just go ahead and drop into a nice relaxed breath through the nose, and just fall into your breath, breathing into the stomach. And what is claiming our energy back? So when we think about all these sources from the past, and just stay with your breath as I'm talking. So what you're doing right now, just by falling into your breath, this is how we begin to claim our energy back. Just fall into the sensation of the breath, breathing into the stomach. So everything from the past is, and when we bring it into the present and then into the future, this is taking the energies from the past, and letting that energy from the past kind of guide us, control us, how we're going to feel, how we're going to act. And so we're coming from the past as we're drawing in energies from events that have happened already, and we haven't let go of those. And so when I'm doing the breath work, this is why I do a lot of work with the energies within the body when we're falling into the breath work, to help restructure that energy so that we come more from within. And so as we fall into this breath and the sensation of how it feels to breathe and to draw air into the stomach, and stay with the nose nice and relaxed. This is really being present right now. If you can just keep your mind focused on the breath and not bring anything else in from earlier this morning, anything about the day ahead, just stay present with yourself right now and begin to feel the energy within. A lot of times I'm either in general with the breath, I may have us come from the heart or from the body as a whole. And this is just, it's beginning to understand how we feel within and to bring the energies alive within us so that we can feel a good tingling sensation, warmth, love, care, compassion. For myself included, quieting the mind is rather difficult. So if I'm just focusing on the breath without scanning the body, and thoughts are coming in, and I'm trying not to have thought. And let's just say we're not going to bring the thought into any of the energy centers. So this is where the mantras come in for me sometimes. And I'll just make up sometimes on the spot, whatever just comes to me. I might just be like, I am light, I am light, I am love. And so if I'm having trouble quieting the mind a little bit, for myself, I find the mantras really helpful for keeping me or bringing me more into the present moment of right now. And I just might repeat it as many times as I need to until I fall back into the sensation of the breath. So if you need to say a mantra to yourself, just try and fall into your breath. Free yourself, free your mind. And just become aware of how you feel within inside you. Staying with the breath through the nose. And we'll just all breathe together and fall into the breath. I am still. I am quiet. You can really just say anything. Now, when we're scanning the body, we'll do a little scan of the body. This is, if you've done this with me before, you know that we're checking for parts of our body that may, might be tense or tight or not feeling that good or and so it's a way to breathe into these areas of the body to try and help relax that, to relax that energy within that space. It's also a way to help with our thoughts and staying in the present moment and to bring us, so it's using the mind to hone in on one aspect of the body and just kind of check ourselves. So it's keeping us present. It's a way to help train the mind to stay more present, because we can do this. Really, you can do this at any time during the day, and that's part of the trick of doing all this work. It's not just coming to the breathwork sessions or listening to the podcast and laying on your mat and falling into the state of quietness of the breath, and practicing to become present when there's nothing else going on. And so part of the trick and what I've talked about over the last year with some of the tools is, bringing this into our walking life when we're engaging with others, when we're engaging with life. When we're engaging, are we reacting or behaving in a manner of where we're drawing in the energy from the past? Are we allowing that to come into our present and then into our future? Neurologically speaking, the way we're wired and the chemistry of the body, it's, this discomfort that we create is what we seek as well, because it is our comfort. Unfortunately, most of my life was spent being comfortable in hell. because it's what I knew. I didn't know anything else. I still go back there sometimes. Maybe not in the same way I did before, but we're not perfect. So when we scan, it's a way to help redirect the mind to the body and to bring our attention into right now and how we're feeling right now. And it's just a way to, it's like a little roadmap for the mind to, or a tool to use when you're walking in your daily life to become present, right? And we'll get a little bit deeper with that in a moment. But let's just go ahead and just focus the mind starting on the toes. And just breathe into the toes, the sole of your foot, top of your foot to the ankle. And just really breathe into these. Try to draw the energy, the prana, into each area, regardless if it's has tension or relaxed. Just breathe into it. Redirect the mind to the calf and the shin and the knee. And just take 1 or 2 breaths with each area. And just breathe into it, allow for it to relax, and then breathe out any tension. Feel it relax. You can have, like, if it's really tight or tense, really nice long exhale. You can fully exhale all the air out and focus on just shifting that energy, that tightness, that discomfort out. If you feel like you need to take a second breath on the hamstrings or the thighs, then take a second, breath into that space. Remembering that when you move into the hip area, this is a lot of where our emotions are stored. A lot of our traumas are past. Those lower 3 chakras have a lot to do with that. And so this is an area where we pretty commonly have to restructure that energy. Check your stomach thoroughly, the ribs, your heart, your neck, your shoulders. And then this is also not just keeping us present, but it's also bringing us into the body, right? Because now we're scanning the arms and the triceps and the bicep. And as we fall into the energy within us, this is like that beginning chapter, that first part of reclaiming your energy. So then that we're not drawing energy from outside in the external world or from the past. Or moving, anxiety, stress can come from a worry about the future. Fully check the neck and the mouth and the jaw, cheeks, eyes. Staying with the nose breath, breathing into the stomach and into each area that you're checking and scanning. And then once you're done scanning, or if you're already done, just move into a full body breath, breathing in through the nose, and kind of feeling the energy exchange throughout every cell of the body. And just fall into this tingling sensation, this feeling of warmth, maybe, feeling of relaxation. Because as you drop into the body, this is how we begin to reclaim our energy, so that instead of our actions, words, coming from the external world or the past, this is starting to draw energy from. This is how we begin to learn how to draw the energy from within us and allow for that to help with our present moment, whether it's being one-on-one with someone who's a trigger, because if we come from the past, then our actions are going to stay the same. If we can come from within our inner light, our inner energy, heart space, then we can start having compassion, coming at the person with love. And then we may see more clearly in the mirror as well as a result of that, of maybe something that needs to be worked on. Just stay with the breath, with the full body. And now just bring your attention maybe to the heart space. Let's just drop into the heart space, into the heart. Now, the hard part of this sometimes is that, chemically speaking, within the body, like I said before, we're more comfortable with the emotions that come up that we're used to. And so this is why breath work, why breathing, meditating can be difficult, because it can be very uncomfortable. There can be a discomfort with this because our body chemically might be trying to fight us with this, because we haven't developed that pattern, that chemical change within the body. Or the mind, because we live, for the most part, in heightened stress, right? And, we're staying like in that beta brainwave length, where it's a little bit more chaotic. The fight, the flight. And so all of this is meant to help us to, we chemically kind of like rewire us. Have a more calm, relaxed brainwave activity so that we can think more clearly, be more creative with our families, our jobs, with our present moment. Just staying with that nose breath today, and just focus on dropping into the heart. And how does the heart feel? Really feel the beating of the heart, and just bring your attention to the beating, the pumping. And I'm just going to invite you at this time just to try and slow that heartbeat down. So just become aware of just a nice relaxed breath. And just let all the tension go. Just really fall into the heart. And just really feel the pumping of the heart. How does that feel for you right now? Is it Does it feel like it's out of control? Is it beating fast? Are you all of a sudden aware of like, oh, this is stress? And just stay with it. Just stay within the heart and really let it just come down. We're going to stay here for a little bit. So just relax the breath and just relax the heart. Just really let it relax. A lot of times when I do this, I can really feel the beating of the heart. It's pretty intense usually in the beginning. It can definitely take some time to quiet it down. Um, but this is part of that process of falling into the energies within us, the energy coming from the heart space. Because the energy here, if we can start to use this energy to help guide our present moment, then a lot of those emotions or actions or reactions may shift into more compassion, more love for people around us, regardless if we know them or not, and for ourselves. And really, just this is part of developing a relationship with our inner energy. And to start drawing from this energy to help guide us. And just stay with that heart as I'm talking. What's this energy going to do? Like when we reclaim this energy and we start to come from this energy within right now that you're seeking, that you're falling into, what can we do with this energy? Well, it can do what I have been talking about. It can change our emotions when we're dealing with people or situations. This is also where we're going to want to manifest from this inner energy. And this is also helping to change the chemistry within the body and how we're reacting and how we feel. And, it's helping with the mind in the sense of maybe we can move away from emotions and maybe move more into how we feel. Especially if we're using this energy from within to also manifest. And a part of manifesting is it's not about bringing in the emotion of what we're trying to manifest, but it's really bringing in the feeling of what we're trying to manifest and create. Because we want to know how it's going to feel before it happens and start living in that feeling. So we can draw from this inner energy from the heart, energy from within our body. And then the next step of this is to help us with the quantum shift, the quantum field around us, and putting this energy into or out to the universe. and filling our own energy body as well with a brighter light, more calm, expand it out further. Let's not have a dimming of the lights. Let's brighten it up a little bit. Let that light really shine. And so, just stay with the heart for me. I just invite you to stay in there. So, reclaiming our energy, because we've lost our energy. We're bringing in the energies from the external world and allowing for these energies to almost control us, to our minds being more in beta and stress and discomfort, and it can create and help create a pretty chaotic day sometimes, or keep us in that high stress mode. And it's hard to have joy from that space. And then just fall into your nose breath and just fall back into a full body sensation. Um, as I have begun to practice this and bring it more and more into who I am every moment, walking, meditating, breathing, interacting. Um, I'm just coming from that inner space, that inner light. And I have found that for myself, that time just really almost doesn't exist. Some people at work make fun of me for never knowing what day it is, and they know I'm pretty yeah, I really don't know what day today is. Um, but time starts to evaporate. Even my self-identity, and just becoming energy, just becoming a pure, energetic flow of love and compassion for everything around me, and to give off that energy and give it out instead of drawing energy in. Let the energy come from within and go out and affect everyone, including myself and everyone around me. Regardless, most of them don't even know that we're giving off that beautiful energy. And that, when we can start to come from the energy and claim our energy back, and then to be able to give that energy out. Another beautiful thing I've seen is that it also changes our interactions with people, and maybe even changes the interaction of people who may normally upset us or trigger us. I have noticed that for some people, they have trouble even approaching or even talking to me anymore. In some situations, it's just totally changed the dynamics of the relationship as well. So it doesn't always mean that the person has to go away. There are some of those people that I want to keep at bay, but I find it really beautiful when the energy exchange between myself and someone else changes. And a lot of that's because of the work that we're choosing to do, to claim our energy back and to give energy from within us and to put it out around us, and to start using it more through the day, not just when we're laying down on our mat. But to retrain our mind, retrain the nervous system, all the cells interacting with each other, all of it, like it just, this brings everything into play with our human physiology. And so this is kind of, for me, what reclaiming energy is. Reclaiming our energy that we lost a long time ago. For the last few minutes, I'm just going to switch up our breath, and we're going to go a little bit quiet. So what I'm going to invite you to do is you can do nose breathing or both nose and mouth breathing for this if you're not used to it. What we're going to do is we're going to inhale, hold the breath, exhale, hold the breath, inhale, hold the breath, exhale, hold the breath. Now we're going to try and do this, let's say, at least 5 to 7 minutes or so. And when you're learning how to do this, it's a Kundalini breath. I'm just going to recommend that you keep the holds really short and try to stay with it. You don't really want to try and hold it for as long as you can, because to do this for 5 minutes can be rather difficult if we're really trying to hold the breath. And as you practice this, you'll find that this is really relaxing at the end. Normally we want to do this breath for 11 minutes. So I'm just going to invite you to breathe in through the nose or mouth into the stomach. Little pause. Exhale. Hold. Just a brief pause. And then just stay with a very brief pause. And then as you fall a little bit deeper into the breath, if you can hold it for a little bit longer, then go ahead and play with it a little bit. If you need to pause and just kind of take a start over, that's fine. So I'm just going to breathe with you here for a few minutes. So let's just fall into silence and quietness and into your breath. Don't try and hold it for too long. See if you can just stay with the rhythm of the breath. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Find your own rhythm. Just keep your eyes closed, fall into the breath. Just going to go for about 2 more minutes. And, as we are discover, and you can stop the breath and fall back into your nose breath, how to come from this inner energy that we have, from the source within. I've seen a lot of beautiful stuff for myself, like I'm not counting the minutes to the end of the workday or to the end of a class, or, I'm not, it's changed like the relationships I have with people I work with, or my personal life. Also really helps with being more creative, being more effective, or getting work done at a different type of pace, more efficiently, because I'm not drawing in so much from the outside world. I'm able to stay more present, stay focused on the task at hand that's going on right now. And then, like I said, this is part of the process of where we want to manifest from as well. Because we can create whatever as we move into that infinite possibilities that lay ahead of us, right? There's always an infinite number of possibilities, unless we're coming from the past and drawing those energies in and setting them up within the mind into the future before we even get there. But if we can come from that inner energy, then at this point, then the doorways can start to open, the infinite possibilities of what we want to create, what we want to bring into our lives, into this 3D aspect of it. We can do that from this space. So there's many gifts with the breath work, and this is one of them today. So I hope that you enjoyed, or hopefully it maybe help educate you on why I enjoy doing this and why I'm bringing it to others. And I think, the more that we focus on this, reclaiming our energy, this can really help guide us into new experiences, a different life that we never thought possible, and to really bring about more joy and compassion. So, with that being said, I hope everyone has a beautiful day. Happy New Year to you. We'll see you next year. And any questions or anything, you can always reach out. And love y'all. Enjoy.